What is the flea market? This might be one of the questions you've asked yourself today if you've clicked on this video, or maybe you just want to know the inner workings of the flea market. Then you have come to the right place. In this video, I will explain exactly what the flea market is, how it works, what you can and cannot sell on it, and if you stay to the end, I'll have a little surprise that will help you make a lot of money in the future. Let's start with the flea market and how it should be used. You should think of the flea market as a player-controlled trading area where the prices of the items go up and down depending on the supply of the item, how easy it is to find, and the demand of this item. And then you have items that stay consistent throughout the wipe, for example stuff like gunpowder, because this stuff is used in the hideout for crafting and will be used consistently throughout the wipe because people are always going to be needing to make bullets. So now you guys know how the flea market works, let's talk about how to sell things on the flea market. First things first, you will find the item you are looking to sell and right click on this item to find by item. This will then pull up the flea market and show you all available items of this being sold currently at the moment. You can look at the prices to see what it's selling for, the top being the cheapest and then going all the way down to the bottom will be the most expensive. You can organize this in whichever way you want. Once you have decided the price you're going to sell out, whether you want it a quick sell by putting it at the cheapest possible or trying to get more money out of it by putting on a long sell, you can then click on the item, find it in your inventory when it comes up the page, click on the plus page. Now once you have done this, it will then allow you to be able to select to either choose USD, rubles or by euros depending on what you want to sell the item on, and then you can select the price. Once you have input the price here and then add to list item, it will then list this on the flea market, and then all you've got to do from now is just wait for it to sell. And once this is sold, you will then get a message from Ragman, will then allow you to click on this and claim the money that has been sold for the item that you've listed on the flea market, and there you go. Let's quickly speak about how to use the flea market to help you complete quests, because this has changed quite a lot recently over the last year or so with the changes to the flea market, and it used to be used quite heavily with completing a lot of quests, but now has changed due to the add of the find in raid status. Now what this means is it's a little tick that you have on the corner of items that you find in game, and it just means that you have found this in a raid and extracted with it, or you have crafted it in your hideouts. And because it has this find in raid status, now a lot of the quests will ask you to hand in certain items but must be found in raid. So when it's got this little tick mark on the side of it, then you can do that, but there are still quests what don't have the find in raid status attached to the quest, so you can then use anything off the flea market to buy and then hand in straight away to these providers or to the traders. One things that you can still buy a lot of is keys, apart from now a recent change to the mark room keys, now that you cannot buy these on the flea market. So if you have a quest that involves going to a certain place and picking up a certain item, you can buy keys from the flea market and still use them to complete these quests. And on that note, you can actually only add things to the flea market if they have this find in raid status as well, because it used to be exploited quite a lot back in the day where people would just buy everything on the market and then just resell it for a more expensive price. Now you can only buy and sell it once, because once it has been sold on the flea market, it loses that find in raid status. So you have to put it on the flea market with the find and raid status, and then when someone purchases it, it then loses it, so it cannot be resold again in the future. Moving on to what can or cannot be sold on the flea market. As previously mentioned, the keys got changed. For like mark room keys cannot be purchased on the flea market. All other keys can be. Other things that got changed as well is the rare ammunition and armor types got changed. So you cannot buy any level 6 body armors, level 5, that kind of stuff. Also your high tier ammunition, M995, M61, these kinds of rounds. This is just made and put in place so people weren't running around with all the end game gear at level 10, so you have to actually grind up to better get this stuff, and it also makes the end game a little bit better as well, because you haven't got everybody running around with the best gear possible all the time. Makes things a little bit easier for those newer players who are finally getting into Escape from Tarkov. But now you know how the flea market works. Now is for the bonus for those people who stay till the end. As I said, I want to give you guys my top 3 underrated items that sell on the flea market and make you an absolute buck, but usually are missed by many. And these items are the TP200 TNT, what is 70,000 rubles in the flea market at the moment, what a lot of people miss and don't pick up a lot of the time. So if you see this, make sure you get it. Number 2 on the list is going to be the ratchet. This one might be known by some people, but the ratchet doesn't come up as a rare item, but also sells for 78,000 rubles in the flea market. It's an absolute steal. And last but not least, this one is very out there. I'll be surprised if you guys know this one, is actually the Santa hat. So if you still have a Santa hat from the Christmas event, what was going around, these sell for around about 120,000 rubles on the flea markets, because people just like to look cool in game, because why not? Now, I hope you guys like that top 3 pick there, and I hope it makes you a lot of money if you didn't know them already. But I want to say a big thank you very much for sticking to the end of the video, and I hope you guys have a really good rest of your day. And if you did know anything else about the flea market that I didn't mention for those new players, please leave a comment below and subscribe for more content. Have a good day.